In Valorant, age is more important than you think. The younger you are, the more potential you may have. The older you are, the more experience you have, therefore taking responsibility in guiding your team. But at what age do most pros peak in their career? To find this out, we have to look at the best player from every age, starting at age 16, which is the minimum age you can be to compete in a Valorant tournament. The best 16-year-old is Redux from Oxygen Esports, and he has actually just played in the recent Ludwig x Tarek Invitational, and also the Sentinels tournament, in which Tarek said this about him.
Redux. This kid is so good.
Oh my god.
What is this crosshairs?
Wow.
That's clean.
If that guy was of age, he'd be in franchising.
Well, how old is he? Like 16?
16, yeah.
He's 16?
At 17 years old, we can already see the best players achieve some success in their careers, as Fluorescent from Shopify Rebellion, who plays in the VCT Game Changers, has already won several major events, including the recent 2023 championship, where she dropped 112 kills in the grand finals. At age 18, it really becomes competitive for who's the best, as we have players like Les, Althea, Zekken, Karizine and Monyet. However, it's really just down to two players. One has won back-to-back trophies, the other has won champions. But the player I will be choosing is Althea. Sorry to all the Les fans, but purely off of the back of Althea being the MVP in 2 events last year, which shows his true impact in the Fnatic team. Next up is age 19, which has some of the rising stars in Valorant. Kang, Foxy9, Trent. However, the best player would go to PRX Forsaken, who has won the Pacific League and came runners-up in the recent Valorant Champions and Masters Copenhagen. Definitely a player who still has a lot of potential in his career. 20 years old seems to be where most players hit their peak in their career. We have Aspas, Durka, Leo, Jingg, Buzz and Leaf. But obviously, it's going to go down to 2 players again, and I think the influence he has had on the team is essential for their results, and therefore I'm going to choose Aspas. Age 21 is also the time where players are in their highest form, such as Chronicle, Something, Mako, Sugetsu, and the W streamer of course. But the one player who is undeniably the best in the world right now, and that's Demon1, who took everyone by storm with his recent performances this year. After just winning champions and having some of the hottest aim we've ever seen in Valorant, he's just been picked up by NRG to try and replicate his same level of success in 2024. Next up at age 22 is a player who is considered the best in the world for some, or others just say the GOAT of Valorant, and that is of course Tenz. Winning 8 total events, more than any other pro player, mostly during 2021, Tenz has been the face of Valorant since it came out, and has some of the most popular clips still to this day. However, some honourable mentions would be players like Safe, Pesnit, Yampi and King. At the age of 23, we have multiple players who have won several major trophies up to this point in their career. Common Ethan, who have just won champions. We also have players like Marved, Shao, Solcas, Zeppa and Stax. I'm going to give it to the player who has the most earnings ever in Valorant, which is NRG Ethan, who has won approximately $288,000. Following his teammate, at age 24, which is usually the middle of a pro player's career, we have Jorgamo, who has recently just found success, winning champions and also placing second at Masters Tokyo. Other honourable mentions will be Oxygen Dapper, who is ex-Sentinels, Pinkada, who also saw their peak of their career about 2 years ago, Mindfreak and Bleed Scary, who pulled off one of the best clutches in 2023.
He might just be able to bring this back from the brink.
From Tornado.
Oh, but cancels it. He's gonna check one. Gets the headshot. He gets the ace!
Next up at 25 years old, we have a lot of big players who used to dominate Valorant during its early days, such as Zoms and Sick, who was on Sentinels of course, Sireplayer, who had an incredible performance to beat the unstoppable Optic Core, Copenhagen winner Ardis, and PRX Devi. However, I'm going to give it to the player who had one of the best primes in Valorant history, and that is Bleed Ye. The ex-Optic player had displayed some of the best aim we've seen during that time, and was the first person to challenge Tenz for being the best player in Valorant. Some of his results were winning Masters Reykjavik 2022, and placing second at Champions 2022. 26 years old is where we start to see a huge influx of in-game leaders, as at this age, players tend to have more experience and therefore are able to take more responsibility and guide the younger players. Some of the players include Crashies, Nucky and Sassy, but the best player in this age category goes to Sadak from Loud. Not only did he guide his team to win Champions 2022 and VCT Americas, but also dropped one of the best aces out of any IGL.
Shot! Sadak has gotten it this far as he repositions now, 13 seconds left. Victor has a lot of utility here, but the swing out from Sadak with the flash. Waiting, crosshair trained!
Age 27, we have more IGLs such as Stella, Mitch and Benkai. However, one player who might surprise you is NRG Victor, who was also part of that old Optic core, who is still playing a flex role for NRG, and he will now be playing with some of the best players in the world such as Demon 1 and Ethan. Victor has won 2 events, however he has placed second in 5 events during his career. Next up is Age 28, which features 3 IGLs from completely different parts of the world. Melsa, who plays in the Americas, Laz, who plays in Pacific, and then we have one of the most respected IGLs in Valorant, Boaster.
Bullets dropping down, a tap onto it, less seeking to try and force the fight out. It's played to perfection.
After age 28, there are only a handful of players remaining, mainly due to the fact that Valorant is still a new game, and so it's really hard to get into a new game after a certain age. Age 29 is full of players who were the best during the beta times of Valorant. However, there is only one pro who is still active at the tier 1 level, and most of you will know him as the one-tap GOAT, Scream. All of his first place finishes were in 2021, with his best place being 3rd at Champions 2021. Right, so now we're on to the boomers of Valorant, which is actually very impressive to still be playing at age 30. There are 2 contestants, G2 Shazam and Koi Coldamenta, but as of recently though, Shazam has left G2 and is currently a full-time streamer, and therefore I'm going to give it to Coldamenta, who is still actively playing in tier 1. Coldamenta won the first ever Masters event in Valorant during 2021. Next up is at age 31, and this one really blew me out of the water, as the only active tier 1 player and who won Masters Reykjavik 2022 is NRG FNS, and to be honest, I thought this guy was in his mid-20s, not early 30s. However, he is still one of the top 3 best IGLs in history so far, but unfortunately, there is a big question mark to whether FNS will compete in 2024, as he wants to take on full-time streaming. Ages 32 and 33 I'm just going to combine together, as they have 2 retired tier 1 pros, which are ex-Sentinels Depp and 100T Hiko. Hiko placed during 2021 and won 1 event, which being the North America's Challengers with this iconic clip.
Hiko, 24 health, running for the fences. Chronicle has plenty of health. Chronicle on the tap. He's got to get Pros don't fake. He's got to get it to Happier. Oh Hiko swings out.
Lastly, at age 34, we have the oldest active T1 pro, who is known for his greatest of aiming ability.
Heads on a swivel, Team Liquid.
Incredibly smart positioning.
Save my pick'ems.
Finding their space now with a pit down as well as an orb.
And the best ultimate usage.
Oh no! What the fuck are you ulting, bro? Angel!
All jokes aside, Angel being able to play at the tier 1 level is beyond impressive, and his best placement will be winning Masters Copenhagen in 2022 with FPX. He now plays for Navi, who have brought back the original winning roster from 2022, so we might see one of the oldest players lifting a trophy anytime soon.